Okay, so when I was in the army, I know this guy named Sergeant Paris, Joel Paris. He was originally from Trinidad. He came to the U.S. For college and he never left. He joined the army, did 20 plus years, retired as a sergeant first class recently. And this guy was just awesome. He was one of my all-time favorite NCOs, people I knew in the army, and there was never a dull moment with this guy. Oh no, never. And I was one of the only people who could impersonate him. And people would always be asking me to impersonate him, and you know, everyone thought it was hilarious, and so did he, because he had a great sense of humor. He could always laugh at himself. You could make fun of him to his face; he didn't give a shit, because he was just like the heavyweight champion of trash talk. No matter what you said to him, he'd one up you and say something better. You really couldn't win. And his nickname for me was Leviscowitz, because I was Jewish and my name is Levi. And he'd be like,
Yeah, Leviscowitz. What's going on, Leviscowitz?
and that laugh too, his trademark Paris laugh. And like I said, this guy was just a champion trash talker. And one of his favorite targets was this idiot named Chap in our battery. Chap was this big, lumbering, ugly motherfucker. Kind of like a poor white trash guy from, he was originally from Sacramento. And he was perfect fodder for somebody like Paris. Especially when he did things like, okay, when you go on deployment and you got no one to watch your vehicle, the army will put it in this special secured lot and they'll watch it and take care of it for you when you're gone. And then when you get home, all you gotta do is present your registration and insurance and maybe your license and you get the car back. And that's it. It's that fucking simple. But this idiot was too stupid to bring his registration and insurance. He's too good for it, I guess. So they wouldn't give him the car. So, on top of that, he's too lazy to get new registration and insurance. So he literally left the car sitting in the lot for like 6 or 7 months. And Paris just made fun of him for it all the time. He'd say shit like,
Yeah, well, Chap went to the dealership and bought himself a couch. 'Cause that motherfucker ain't going nowhere.
or he'd go,
Hey, Chap, I'm driving home for lunch. I'll race you. Oh, yeah, you ain't got a car, motherfucker.
and, yeah, like this one time we were in Iraq at this place called Fob Hammer. And we're getting ready to go home. And the only thing we had left to do was pack up all our shit and do storage. These Tricon storage containers. And when we were sitting around taking a break, he starts making fun of Chap again. Because Chap is one of these really uptight, homophobic type guys. Tries to tell you that he's 100% straight, which no guy is. That's bullshit. No one's 100% straight. But he tried to claim he was. So we're sitting there, and Paris goes,
Hey, Chap, you know you a little gay, right?
Chap goes, well, yo, what the fuck you talk about, yo? I ain't gay, son. I'm not gay.
Yeah, you a little gay, Chap. Let's say you at a club, right? And you on the dance floor. And there's some guy. And he wearing the same clothes you are. Same exact clothes. And you looking at him. You checking him out. Thinking, yeah, I look way better in them clothes than he does. But you still checking him out. So you a little gay.
Yo, man, I ain't gay, son. I ain't gay.
Chap, you a little gay.
And he just kept going with this shit. Right? And when I said this guy was a natural born hustler, I mean, like, this guy could sell fucking lube to a convent full of nuns, like they said in Wolf of Wall Street. He seriously could. And probably a whole tanker truck full of lube. This guy literally had 2 jobs at the same time. Like, I am not kidding.
Yeah, so this one time when I lived in D.C., I had 2 jobs at the same time. I had one job copying secret documents for the government. And I also worked as the manager of a Burger King in the same mall. So I copy some documents, and then I go to the Burger King and walk the floor, check on my workers. And then I go back and copy more documents. And I just go back and forth. And this one time, my manager saw me at the document place. And I'm walking out the door, and he goes, "Yeah, where you think you going, Joel? You going to your other job?" And I said, "Yup." 2 jobs at the same time.
And like he just told us all kinds of crazy stories like this. And this guy was the best pool player I ever met. He could have easily played professionally and made a lot of money. We had a huge pool hall at Fob Hammer in Iraq. And like a dozen pool tables in this place at least. He'd play 10, 12 games at a time. He would run every single table. He'd beat all 12 guys at the same time, then line up 12 more if there were 12 more, and he'd beat them too, or he just beat the same 12 guys a second time. And I'm like, wow, how the fuck do you do that? That is insane. And why are you in the army? And he was also maybe the best soccer player I ever met too. And he used to tell me that like he was really good at soccer. He could have played on the Olympic team. Like,
"Yeah, I could have played on the Olympic team in Trinidad." I'm like, "Yeah,
okay, right. Why are you in the army if you're like this incredible soccer player?" Like, yeah, okay, whatever. Until we're in Iraq and we organized this big 11-on-11 game between our unit and these African guys from Uganda or something that were stationed there. Something like that. And these guys thought we were a joke. They always think Americans are a joke at soccer. Until we beat them. It was mostly Paris beating them. Because at one point, this guy gets the ball and scores a goal 1-on-11. He beats all 11 players on the other team, coast to coast, boom, 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 goal. And I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, no fucking way. No way someone could do that. And the craziest part was, he pulled this off being 40 years old with a bad back and 2 artificial knees. What? Like, sometimes I was convinced this motherfucker wasn't even human. And he pulled this one other time during the game. He scored 2 or 3 other goals. He was flipping the ball over people's heads. I mean, he was just like inhuman. I'm like, okay, maybe you could have played for the Olympic or the World Cup team. Now I see why. If this is what you could do at 40 with 2 fake knees, imagine what you could have done healthy at 20. Yeah, this guy was just insane. And never met anyone like him, and I probably never will. But yeah, that is the story of Sergeant Paris, the great Joel Paris. What a guy. What a fucking guy.